everyone! Today I'm making roasted delicata squash with crispy pancetta and shallots. Delicata squash is another one of those beloved fall squashes. It's kind of like a cross between a butternut squash and a pumpkin. It has pumpkin consistency. It also has some seeds, you can see right here, but it has more of a kind of light, delicate taste, just like butternut squash. So today we're gonna be making this awesome side dish. It can also be a nice appetizer, or you can throw it over pasta. It's just fantastic anyway. So let's get started. So we're gonna start off with our beautiful delicata squash. This is what it looked like before I cut it in half. Ooh, other way around, just like this. It's kind of an odd shape. I just cut it in half, and you can see kind of the long way so you can see the seeds. Next step is we're going to take a spoon and we're just gonna go ahead and scrape out the seeds. Just like you would do if you were making like a pumpkin soup and you were gonna use a pumpkin. So you're just gonna take all those seeds out until there's none left. All right, so they're all scooped out. They're nice and hollow, and we're gonna go ahead and now chop these babies up. So we're gonna flip them so that this nice design is face up, and we're gonna take the tops off first. Don't need those. And then we're just gonna go ahead and make nice, thin slices of delicata squash. They're like little half moons. Aren't they so pretty? Smile. And we're gonna just go ahead and do that for all of our pieces of delicata squash. Look at these beautiful rings. Aren't they so cute? They're actually really pretty. Look at all the colors. And we're just gonna go ahead and stick them right on a baking sheet here. Bring them all on. And then you're just going to kind of even them out so they're nice and even in an even layer. Perfect. And then the last touch for these guys before we throw them in the oven is just a little bit of olive oil. We're just gonna go ahead and drizzle this on here. Nice and generously. It'll help them roast and toast. And we're gonna stick these guys in the oven for about 30 minutes in total at 425. Halfway through, we're going to actually add some shallot rings and give these a good toss. Let's roast. All right, so while the squash is roasting in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and saute some pancetta and make it nice and crispy. I'm so excited. There's some diced pancetta in the pan here. I actually bought it pre-diced. You can usually do that at your grocery store. And we're just gonna go ahead and crank the temperature up to about medium high or so. And we're just gonna let this saute in a dry pan. Leave it in the dry pan because we'll be using this after the squash is done. Maybe it's a little smoky in here, but I do have some gorgeous crispy pancetta. It's perfect. And I just went ahead and shut the heat off, and I'm just gonna leave this pan on the burner for our next step later. All right, so I just took some shallots, removed the skins, and then cut them into beautiful little rings. And these are great for roasting. They're gonna crisp up so well. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna open our oven. The squash is halfway through roasting. Ooh, so hot. And we're gonna go ahead and take our shallot rings and just carefully, don't burn your face off. Just throw those shallots in. You can take the pan out completely if that's easier. I think it would be easier. And then we're just gonna take a spoon and we're just gonna give these a light toss. It's okay if it's not perfect, but we're just gonna kind of stir these guys around and flip them as much as possible. And then just go ahead and put them in one layer again. And we're gonna roast these for another 15 to 18 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. All right, so the squash and the shallots are done roasting. And now we're gonna go ahead and focus back on our pancetta pan. I turned the heat on high. We're just getting the pancetta nice and warm again. And I have a little bit of minced garlic here, or more like a lot, because I love my garlic. And we're just gonna go ahead and add the garlic right into this pan and just give it a little heat just so that the garlic starts to cook a little bit. So the garlic and pancetta are ready, and we're just gonna bring the pan right over to our counter and start assembling. And I have our beautiful squash here. Look at this. Isn't it just the prettiest thing you've ever seen? I love these little half moons. They're just so fun. And I'm just gonna take all the squash, scrape it down. There's no easy way to do this. Sometimes I actually pick up the foil. I think I'm actually gonna do that. And we're just gonna put this all in our pan. Hopefully it'll all go in for me. Perfect. All right. I have some loose ends. I forgot it. So we're just gonna go ahead and add some olive oil to the pan. And then I have some beautiful sage leaves. I like to use the little baby ones because they're a bit more tender. I'm just gonna rip them off, stick them right in the pan. And this is just going to add some nice, almost like aromatics, a little bit of perfume, and it just has that beautiful fall flavor that we know and love. And we're just going to mix that up. Before we do, we're gonna add some crushed red pepper flakes just for a little bit of heat. Add as much as you dare. And then we're just going to mix all of this up. Oh, look at how delicious. The sage starts to almost like melt into the dish, flavor the whole thing. There's garlic in there and it's just mixing in with the squash. The pancetta is like a pop of salty. Perfect. And then we just spoon it right into a dish. You can also add pasta into this if you want to make it a full dish instead of a side dish or an appetizer. Oh, I want to get a nice sage leaf on the top. Wow, look at this. And the final touch is some shaved Parmigiano Reggiano. You can sub Parmesan, you can sub another hard cheese that you like, and you're just gonna do some nice shavings on the top. There's nothing better than cheese, especially on this dish. Oh, wow. It is my turn to try. I am just so excited. The smell of this dish is just so fantastic. Let's go. It's caramelized. There's little pops of pancetta that's salty. We have a little bit of cheese. The sage just lightly perfumes the whole dish. I taste the garlic a little bit. Oh my gosh. Wow. Check out this recipe on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it.